This is a video about the Thermal Masters T2 Pro thermal camera that you add to an iPhone or an Android. Here's a video from an iPhone of a squirrel at about 50 yards. And this right here is what that squirrel looks like through the thermal viewer. So obviously it's much easier to see he's there. Here's some deer out in the field 30 yards away or thereabouts. Here's what they look like with a thermal viewer. Very good definition of what we're looking at. Here is, now it's getting dark and the visible camera looks like this because the light level is so low. Again, these are 20 or 30 yards away, starting to have trouble seeing them even at that distance. And then the thermal camera, on the other hand, is there very, very clear and visible. You can see these are doe, of course, there's no antlers on them. I do believe you can see antlers. Here's another view of some deer, again out in the field about 30-40 yards away. And this continues on. I'm very pleased with the Thermal Master T2 Pro. The resolution is good. I haven't shown any zoomed in photos yet, but you can do a 15x digital zoom. Of course, you lose a little resolution when you do that, but it's very, very easy to see, the animals. And this goes on for a little while. Several different deer out in the field. It's dark, you really can't see. The interesting part here is I was actually using it during the daylight as well as when it got dark, just to see if there were any deer out in the woods surrounding the field. So this field is about 50 yards across and maybe 100 yards long. And so after dark, when I could no longer see the deer, this is a video here. You can see there's a deer standing out in the woods. Now, obviously you can't see him because of all the trees and stuff in the way, but you can tell there is something there. And I was really kind of hoping he would come out, thinking it might be a buck and I could actually see some antlers and what have you. But you can see the deer's back there. He's holding up right now. This was on the 15th, I don't know, the 14th of January.
In the background.
And here in a little bit, I'm going to show you some video from the 15th. But anyway, so there he is. Watched him for quite a while, maybe another minute or so. And then stopped and waited to see what was going to happen. Then here's the next video. Again, the deer are out in the field there, all around where I'm at. I'm in a shooting house, and you can see back in the woods there in the background. There's deer. There's deer back there. And then you can see this one starting to walking through the trees.
Maybe more than two.
I'm assuming it's a buck, but I can't really tell. I don't see any horns or anything, but I assume the buck was hanging out back in the woods waiting on it to get dark. But he never did come out. I eventually gave up. He basically walked away, and and I gave up and slipped out of the shooting house and headed on out. There's at least two deer back in the woods there, as you can see. Gonna have some more video here. Just things, deer walking around. You'll see. And we'll get to the next part, which I found very interesting. The next day, let's see, not yet, but get close. You can see a little bit of blur there. I was actually looking through a burlap camo net. It kind of distorted the picture a little bit until I got out from behind it. But there they are. There's deer out in the woods. There's deer in the field. They're all walking around. You can very easily tell they're there. And I have to believe that if it was a buck, you could probably see the antlers. And here's coming up, good video of the deer walking in the woods. That one does not look like it has any antlers on it, but it is walking through the woods from the right to the left, sitting in in the camp field down at Husky Ridge. And a little bit, it's very hard to hold this camera still. I need a camera mount, something to stabilize it. But anyway, you get the idea. The camera is working really well. It's doing exactly what you expect it to do. In this particular one, the T2 Pro is the one that has the 15x digital zoom capability. The P2 does not. So, and of course, it's $100 cheaper or thereabouts. Plus, this there's a deer standing in the woods looking. Plus, the T2 Pro also comes with some other mounting equipment I'll talk about. This is what a turkey looks like in IR. Evidently, the feathers, there's so many feathers there that insulate the body. You don't get much heat out of the body, but you get the heat out of the head. And this is just looking around. Now, this is a different location. This is at the pond, and there's a feeder, a spin feeder, and you can see the pond here in the foreground. See some rocks that are still hot. There's some feed. There's a container there with feed in it. Then all of a sudden, this is after dark, the deer shows up. I mean, I couldn't see, had no clue the deer was there. Turned the camera on, and there it was, standing there just across the pond from me. This is about 55, 60 yards, best I remember, over where the deer is. And also notice that you can see the reflection in the pond. I mean, the infrared is reflecting off the water, and so you get a double image. There's also a post in the foreground that's got a fish feeder on it, so it kind of blocks the view part of the time there, but you can definitely see what's going on. And there's a little zoom in. Of course, what I was doing here as I was watching this deer, I was also looking in the background to see if there's any other deer out there. So I would occasionally scan around and look for other hot spots, and never saw any. I was kind of surprised that I didn't even see any other doe or anything. So, but you can still see some hot spots here and there, but they're obviously not. And there's a solar panel array on the right there. You can see it. It's a different color than the other stuff is. So, and this goes on for a little while, another minute or two. And if you're enjoying it, just keep watching and like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll bring you some more of this as time goes along. I get some other opportunities to collect some video. I'll try to make some improvements, get something to steady the camera and things like that. But as I was saying, didn't really finish, this thing comes with a handle to hold the camera, as well as a holder to hold your phone, so that you can steady it, lean it against something, whatever, if you want to. But it's also got a little 1-inch cube box. I mean, the camera itself is a 1-inch cube, very small camera. It just plugs in your phone. But it's also got this metal container that you could actually mount it on a Picatinny rail, so you could actually turn it into some kind of aiming device for an air gun or a crossbow or even a rifle, I suppose. Anyway, so it's all that together is it's a $400 package deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you later on.